is mid-May 2022, and Michael, Joey, Brent, and I are in the Black Mountains of Pisgah National Forest, North Carolina.
Woo.
The Blacks are the highest mountain range on the East Coast. They contain Mount Mitchell, the highest point, and over this trip, we'll be traversing 6 of the 10 tallest mountains in North Carolina. That's a challenge in of itself. The other big challenge for us is the weather. It's nice and sunny and hot today, but the rest of the trip is calling for showers and perhaps some thunderstorms up on the ridges that we'll be walking.
We'll see.
We've got a big old climb today, maybe in the range of 3,500 to 4,000 feet. So we're ready to get going, and it's time to hit the trail.
Do it.
Starting off along Bowlens Creek, we are going to try to do the full J of the Black Mountain Crest. Continuing upwards, there's an interesting structure here along the Black Mountain Crest Trail. We expect this to be our last water source until we reach Deep Gap and go a little bit down the Colbert Trail to gather water there. But about 5 miles or so we're expecting to not see water. The forest changes as we continue to rise in elevation, and unfortunately for us, the temperature is also cooling down, which is great because we started off hot and sweaty. We've come across a few small springs since that last stream, but they don't look to be year-round. Our first big views of the trip. We're nearing what we hope to be the top of our big climb. We've got a little bit of a flat portion ahead and then some undulating mountains before we'll be at Deep Gap, several miles down the trail. Stretched out in front of us, the highest ridge in the eastern United States. We'll be hiking on that tomorrow. Out in the far, far distance, Joey spotted Table Rock on the Linville Gorge. Home sweet home. We made the camp at Deep Gap. A long, tough day, and it's a pretty popular area tonight, but we found a spot. On this trip, we're using the Grandfather Ranger District map by Pisgah Map Co. Let's take a look at the map for day 1. We started at Bowlens Creek and began the long, steep climb up to the top of the Black Mountain Crest. Past Silo Knob, Horse Rock, Gibbs Mountain, and Winter Star Mountain, we set up camp for the night at Deep Gap. Day 1 was about 7 miles. Day 1 has been a hard day, and to kick us while we were down, the spring at the top of Colbert Ridge Trail was dry, as it can be, so we had to add on maybe another 1.5 miles, 3/4 straight down, 3/4 straight back up to gather water. But now it's time to finish getting camp set up and then get some rest in to run it back tomorrow. That'll be the end of day 1. Good night. Good morning. Made it to day 2 of our backpacking adventure in the Black Mountains, North Carolina. A very windy night last night, blowing through the trees the entire night, blowing through our shelters the entire night.
My tent ended up having blown over, so that was fun trying to move that rock to stabilize it up.
Hammocks getting blown off the side of the mountain over there.
It's calmed down this morning, and we're ready to tackle the heart of the Black Mountain Crest, which will take us over several tall peaks culminating in Mount Mitchell, tallest mountain in the eastern United States. So we're looking forward to that. It's a beautiful day. Hopefully we'll have some good views along the way. It's time to hit the trail.
Let's do it.
Our day started with a big climb up Potato Hill. We're now gonna have a big drop down and then another big climb up to Cattail Peak. This is one of my absolute favorite ecosystems. The high elevation spruce fir forests, Cattail Peak summit. Continuing towards Mount Mitchell. We just came over Balsam Cone. We're going to continue past the Big Tom Gap Trail, hike up Big Tom, Mount Craig, and Mount Mitchell. Today is my dad's birthday. Happy birthday, Dad. Hope that you and Mom and Michael get to celebrate. And thinking of you out here. Big Tom. Mount Craig, the second highest mountain in the eastern United States. Looking towards Mount Mitchell, which is currently shrouded by cloud. Out there is the J part, the hook of the Black Mountains, where we'll hopefully be later on in our trip. Leaving the second tallest peak in the east and heading towards the tallest. Hopefully the rain holds off for us. Highest point on the east coast. Big views for us today in every direction. It's a bit anticlimactic, but we got to see really pretty views on Mount Craig. Oh, there's a little opening. It's been thundering for about 45 minutes, so we need to get down soon. Clouds continue rolling in. We're gonna go grab our packs and hopefully get to a lower elevation. Making our way towards the commissary area, where we're gonna hope to find some water and get camp set up. The rain is on. Home sweet home. We found a nice private campsite along the Buncombe Horse Range Trail. The main meadow area was filled up with Boy Scouts, and we were fortunate to find this little private alcove. The Black Mountains form a J-shaped range that opens to the northwest. The crest contains 6 of the 10 highest summits in the eastern United States, with 18 peaks climbing over 6,300 feet. Let's take a look at the map for day 2. Starting at Deep Gap, we continued along the Black Mountain crest, past Potato Hill, Cattail Peak, Balsam Cone, Big Tom, Mount Craig, to Mount Mitchell. We then cut down to the Commissary Ridge, Commissary Hill area, where we set up camp for the night. Day 2 was about 7 miles. Day 2 of our trip in the Black Mountains has been a great day. Much better than yesterday. Very pretty views along the way. It was so cool to hike along those tallest mountains and the ridge lines with the special spruce fir forests. And now we've got a great campsite set up here with a view.
And the Mount Craig lunch spot that we had, best view of the day by far in my mind, only to then get up to the Mount Mitchell observation tower and be shrouded in clouds. So at least we got the Mount Craig view when we did.
We were a little disappointed that there was no available water at the top of Mount Mitchell.
That was unfortunate, but
yeah, we were a little unclear on what that situation would be, but you know, no issue. It's you know, not a far hike either direction.
There's a stream 50 feet
yeah,
from our
we got water right
so
by camp here, so it all worked out.
Just wash my feet with more water. Just wasting.
Yeah, well, we're getting settled in here for a relaxing evening, and that'll be the end of day 2. Good night.
Good night.
Cheers.
New Hampshire's Mount Washington was thought to be the highest in the eastern U.S. until Elijah Mitchell proved that the blacks had higher peaks in 1835. Despite the current naming, it is likely that Mitchell measured Mount Gibbs or Clingman's Peak. Thomas Clingman
may have been the first to measure what is now known as Mount Mitchell.
Good morning. We made it day 3 of our backpacking trip here in the Black Mountains. Last night was much more peaceful and calm than the crazy winds of night 1.
Thank goodness.
Allowed us to get some good rest in for our longest day of the trip today.
I managed to luck out, and I was up early enough to see the foot into my hammock looked right over this ridge, this view from the campsite, and I managed to catch the sunset just over the ridge, sunrise. So great start to the day. Beautiful day so far. Feeling really good.
Yep, we made it down the mountain yesterday with minimal rain impact, and we're able to set up camp and stay dry.
A little bit of
all
splish
night.
splash, but nothing too much.
Yep.
We're hoping for the same luck today, and we're ready to hit the trail.
Let's do it.
Rock on.
This is the right prong of the South Toe River, and our expectation is that this is going to be the last water source of the entire trip for us. We're gonna have to carry water for the rest of today, camp tonight, and then a few miles out in the morning to reach the ending trailhead. It's time to camel up and get heavy. We've got about 20 liters of water between us, 45 pounds of water, split 4 ways. Crossing the Blue Ridge Parkway, staying on the Mountains to Sea Trail. We've got some climbs coming up. Beautiful day for us so far. It's getting a little warm on this climb with our heavy packs.
Better than stormy.
Yep. Really pretty forest through here. Lots of ferns and moss. It's been a big climb to get up. Looking out over the eastern Blacks. That's the ridgeline we were hiking yesterday, including Mount Mitchell in them. Awesome to see. Made it to the Blue Ridge Parkway. We're now hopping on the Big Butt Trail, headed towards Little Butt, where we are aiming for camp for the night. Thunder is starting to roll in. Hopefully we can make it before any storm starts. Well, the rain is coming down. We're still about 2 miles from camp. The climb to the top of Little Butt is getting rowdy. Home sweet home. We've made to camp near the top of Little Butt. The rain and thunder escorted us the entire way, and there's also like 1,000 stairs, but we made it.
The spruce fir forests along the Black Mountain's crest only exist on a handful of high elevation islands in the southern Appalachians. These unique ecosystems are akin to cloud forests and are considered the second most endangered in the United States.
Let's take a look at the map for day 3. Starting at our campsite along Commissary Ridge, we followed the Buncombe Horse Trail as it runs concurrently with the Mountains to Sea Trail till Buncombe splits off. We continued along the MST to the Big Butt Trail, which took us past Point Misery to Little Butt, where we set up camp for the night. Day 3 was about 11 miles. Well, day 3 of our adventure in the Black Mountains has been another great day for us. Our longest mileage day, and the rain came in near the end of it, but things have cleared out and we're getting to enjoy an absolutely spectacular view behind us of the Eastern Blacks, the ridge that we walked along, the highest points for thousands of miles. We're really enjoying it.
Yeah, looking back at all of our progress over here, what an amazing last camp we got going on.
We got camp set up, dinner in us. We're gonna settle in for a relaxing evening, the last night of our trip. That'll be the end of day 3. Good night.
Good night.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Made it day 4
Yeah.
here in Pisgah National Forest, North Carolina. It rained on us most of the night. Started to rain here again this morning. We packed up wet.
Yep.
Enjoying the last moments of our beautiful view of the ridgeline that we've been working over the past couple days. We've got about 3.5 miles out. Hopefully the rain won't come in too hard on us.
One more summit and then it's all downhill.
We're ready to get going and finish things off.
Let's do it.
Heading down the Big Butt Trail. The rain continues.
Woo! All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo!
Woo, buddy.
All right. Yeah.
We made it to the end of one of the most difficult hikes on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
The full J of the Black Mountain Crest from Bowlens Creek to Cane River Gap. We had adversity every day, but we overcame it and enjoyed a lot of awesome views along the way. Brent, what do you think the highlight for you of the trip was?
For me, it was easy. I just enjoyed Little Butt. You know, I mean, the whole scene of it. You know, it is just a small little area. So of course it's on top of the hill, so it's, you know, pretty secluded, but just really a nice place, and then the views are really cool. You know. So.
Absolutely, Joey.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Man, I'm happy to have been able to come out here and crush it the way I have. I mean, yeah, been nursing an ankle injury since last Thanksgiving. It has not been 100%. It feels 100% right now. I tell you, these mountains are rehabilitative, if nothing else. So I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of the crew. The highlight for me is that we got through it really well. Did a great job. What a blast.
Absolutely, Michael. How about you?
I think going to me it was the challenge of the trip. Most of the trips I've been on have been, you know, lesser miles and easier terrain, but this was definitely one where you earned it, and every night was worth camping for.
Right about that.
And that's what I really appreciate about the trip. The Black Mountains in general, it's always a really rewarding area, despite how difficult and tough it is. It's not my first trip out here in this area, so yeah, it was definitely fun to explore it again and get to see the tallest point in the southeast.
Cool.
Yeah, we're ready to get out of the rain, so that's gonna be the end of it.
All right.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Let's take a look at the map for day 4. Starting at Little Butt, we finished off our trip along the Big Butt Trail, about 4 miles to Cane River Gap. That took us across the entire J of the Black Mountains for a trip total of approximately 29 miles.